Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're back in 2025. My name is UFC Investor. In this video, we're going to be talking about Dern versus Ribas 2. In the first fight, Ribas won. So this coming Saturday, they're fighting again on January 11th. So I'm going to be going over my picks, my bets, and predictions for each fight. But let's get started with the first fight. Okay, guys, so for the first fight of the night, we have Nurullo Aliev versus Joe Solecki. Honestly, guys, I don't really think I need to talk about this one much because if you guys look at the odds, Nurullo's a minus 438, and that's because of a couple reasons. Nurullo's been doing pretty good in the UFC. He beat his contender series fighter, Josh Wick, in round one, ground and pound, but his second fight, his first fight in the UFC, official one, he ended up winning by decision, majority decision, and I think he bit the guy. So I think he got a point deducted in the fight, and that's why he got majority. But it would have been unanimous. Still kind of interesting, but most people do think that Nurullo's gonna win. Actually, I was looking at the wrong odds. Nurullo's actually minus 450 and Solecki's plus 350. And also, other than the bye and him doing good, Joseph Solecki, I think he took the fight on short notice. So Nurullo's had a full camp. Solecki took the fight on short notice. I mean, he is 5-3 in the UFC, which is pretty impressive, honestly. But his last two wins, he's lost. Also, granted, he's lost to Grant Dawson, who's really good. Jakar Close, who I think is really good. Oh, I think actually just got finished recently, if I remember correctly. So I'm not fully convinced Nurullo's gonna like dismantle Solecki, but I do think he should be able to pull off a win, maybe like a split decision win or something like that. So I'm gonna be picking Nurullo by decision. Aliev seems like he is pretty decent. He hangs out with Zabit apparently, so he has to be somewhat decent. He's undefeated, and yeah, there's just like a lot of things pointing to Aliev and him winning. I've heard some friends on Discord mentioning that they picked him in the past, so it's probably a good thing. I'll be picking him by decision. If Solecki were to win, I think he could get a submission maybe. I just don't see him getting like a KO or a decision win. If I were to pick Solecki, it'd be by submission or something like that. But I think Aliev takes this one. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys. So for the second fight of the night, we have Fatima Kline, who apparently is Aaron Blanchfield's girlfriend, versus Victoria Dudakova. Like I said, guys, I don't really think I need to talk about this so much either. If you look at the odds right now, Fatima Kline is almost a minus 1,000. Victoria is a plus 650. So I don't really think I need to try to convince you guys that Kline can probably win. I am going to be picking her by decision, but I'm not too convinced. I definitely do think I'll probably throw like 50 cents on like Victoria by decision and submission, just to have fun, see if she gets the win. But I really do think Fatima is pretty decent. I think she was like double champ in another organization. I forgot which one. But yeah, she seems pretty good. She did lose her fight to Jasmine Justavicius, but Jasmine is pretty high level with a lot of experience. And I do think Fatima is going to come back stronger. So I'm going to be picking her by decision. Let's go to the next fight. All right, guys. So for this next fight, we have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov versus Bruno Lopes. The odds have Magomed at a minus 200. Oh, sorry, the pick at a minus 222, and Bruno Lopes at a plus 187. This one's a lot more competitive, I think, because I do think Bruno is actually pretty decent. I do think he has like some sort of potential in the UFC. So I wouldn't completely count him out, and I'm a little surprised about the odds. I think they should be a little bit more like not pick 'em, but still in the favor of Magomed because Magomed is undefeated, and Magomed beat Brennison Ribeiro, who defeated Bruno Lopes. So MMA math would say that Magomed should win, and I am going to be picking Magomed by decision on this one. I think he's going to edge out a decision win as long as Bruno can't finish him, obviously. So I do think Magomed has good capability in terms of like keeping the fight like longer and not getting finished. So I do think he's gonna win by decision. But if I were to pick Bruno, like if you look at his topology, he has a lot of finishes by submission, TKO. So I do think if Bruno wins, I think he could win either round one or two, just like all of his other fights in the past. So I'll probably throw like 50 cents on Bruno by round one or two, just by I guess a finish, not really by TKO or submission. I think I'm not sure what I would pick if I were to pick Bruno, but I do think he could get a finish early in the rounds. So I'm picking Magomed, but I'll probably be betting on Bruno on round one or two maybe. And parlay wise, I don't think I would include this in much because I'm really iffy about it. But I do think Magomed has the edge, him being undefeated, and I think he's Russian, I believe. Magomed, obviously. So yeah, I think he should be able to win this by decision. And let me know what you guys think in the comments about this one, because honestly, I was a little bit on the fence about this one. I was kind of picking Bruno at first because if you look at his last two fights, the last fight was in the Contender Series. He knocked out the guy in round 2, and before that, he had an LFA fight. It seems like a championship fight, or at least a bigger fight. He ended up getting a choke in round 2. So like I said, maybe at least round 2 he could be still very dangerous. And once it gets past that, I do think Magomed should be able to get the decision win. But let me know what you guys think. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for this next fight, we have Ernesta Kareckaite versus Nicolle Calamari. I'm really excited about this fight because Nicolle Calamari just came off a big win in her Contender Series fight. She got a round 1 armbar, and if you look at her last 3 fights before that, she's been getting finishes. So I'm honestly surprised as to why she's a underdog at a plus 220. Ernesta is a minus 260 with her only not even winning in the UFC. She got a split decision in the Contender Series. So I don't really understand, honestly, maybe because of the skill gap, I guess, maybe somewhere. I'm not too sure. Honestly, I don't really keep up with their fights that much, but I'm guessing people do see that Ernesta could probably win. But I'm just going to be going off of their record, and I just don't think it's as one-sided as it is. I do think it's a lot more even, and I'm gonna be picking Nicolle on this one. I mean, just by her getting finishes in round 1 and 2 in the last 4 fights, I think it's pretty impressive. Looking at their significant strikes, I could see why maybe Ernesta's the favorite. She's landing 7.9 per minute versus Calamari, who's only landing around 2. So I do think Nicolle's plan is probably going to try to take it to the ground and maybe get a submission. I'm going to be picking her by submission round 2. I do think she could probably take it to the ground and get a submission. I'm not too sure, but I'm definitely picking it. Maybe a decision, but I'm hoping she can get another finish. Ernesta, I think if she were to win, I think it'd be by decision. Her last 2 wins, her last 3 wins were decision wins, and 2 of them were split. So I think it could be a split decision win for Ernesta. If I were to bet for Ernesta, I think it'd be decision, and Calamari, I would pick her by submission. I think she could get a decision too, but I'm going submission on this one. But yeah, guys, let's go to the next fight. Alright, guys, on the next fight, we have Preston Parsons versus Jacobe Smith. And man, if you guys didn't know, this is a short notice fight. Jacobe Smith is actually stepping in for Gustafsson. I forgot his other name, but Gustafsson. I was picking Gustafsson to win, but I'm also going to be picking Jacobe to win on this one too. I kind of feel bad that I'm not picking Preston Parsons, and I'm picking like the underdog, or the contender, the new guy over Preston Parsons, who has 5 fights in the UFC. He's 2-3 in the UFC, so he definitely has experience and he's decent, that's for sure. But Jacobe Smith is undefeated. His last 3 fights, he's finished the guys in 2 in round 1, 1 in round 2. And if you saw his fight in the Contender Series, it was just really impressive. He was controlling the whole fight, just beating up the guy. So right now they have the Jacobe at a minus 350, which I kind of agree. I'm honestly thought it'd be like kind of worse, honestly. I kind of think this is pretty fair in terms of like the odds, because like I said, you know, Jacobe Smith is newer. He's a newcomer. This will be his first official UFC fight versus Preston Parsons, who has experience. So I'm going to be picking Jacobe on this one. I believe the hype. It was really impressive what he did. I think he's going to be getting better. He's going to be getting stronger and more skilled. And I think he's going to get a finish in round 2. If not round 1, I think I'm going to be picking round 1, honestly. I'm switching over to round 1 because I really do think Jacobe is a problem pretty much to the division. I really do think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be Preston Parsons in round 1 or 2 at least by TKO. If Parsons were to win, I think he could win by decision, maybe. His last 2 wins are by decision. Before that, he got some chokes. Maybe a decision or a submission. But I'll probably pick decision for Parsons. And actually, because of how Jacobe fights, I think he's really aggressive. I think Parsons could catch a submission maybe. So I would probably pick that if I were to pick him. But I'm gonna be going Smith TKO round 1 on this one. Let me know what you guys think about this one too, because I do think there's going to be some hype behind Smith if he wins this one. So yeah, guys, let's go to the next fight. All right, guys, so for this next fight, we have Thiago Moisés versus Trey Ogden. And if you guys see the odds, this one's actually kind of more of a pick-em, I would say. Maybe just kind of not so heavy-sided. Thiago Moisés is the favorite at minus 190, and Ogden is a plus 165. And I'm going to be picking Ogden on this one, guys. This is my second underdog pick. I really do think Ogden has a great chance. If you look at their past fights, Moisés just lost to Ludovic Kline, who's actually really decent. He beat Mitch Ramirez, and he lost to Benoit Saint-Denis. So his last 2 losses were actually from pretty decent people. But if you look at his overall record, he's 7-6 in the UFC. So he's kind of like half and half, And if you look at Ogden, his last 2 wins were decision win unanimous versus Loic, Radzhabahov, and Kurt Halabau. So I do think Ogden can edge out a victory by decision on this one. I do think he should be able to avoid getting finished by Moisés. If Moisés were to win, I do think it'll be by submission. I don't think he's going to knock out Ogden. I don't think Ogden's ever been knocked out. So if Moisés were to win, it's either by submission or decision. So I'm going to be picking Ogden on this one. I'm not too confident, but because I was picking Moses for a second, but just that was just because he was a favorite. I was kind of going with the odds. But I do think Ogden has a great chance, and I'm going to be picking him. Let's go to the next fight. So for this next fight, we have Marco Tulio versus Ihor Potieria. This one, guys, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I'm picking Tulio on this one. A lot of people are picking him. He's a minus 500. Ihor, I'm just not convinced. I just don't think he's that good. He's 2-5 in the UFC. So he definitely has experience, but he's been losing a lot. Granted, he's been fighting some decent people like Michael Pereira, Cesar Almeida, kind of, Carlos Holberg, so he's fighting decent people and he's losing to them. But I think Tulio is pretty decent as well. I've seen him fight. His last fight, I remember watching it and being pretty impressed. His last 2 fights, he got round 2 finishes in the last 2. So he's getting better, I think. He's getting more confident because in his first Contender Series fight, he fought against Yusri Bulgari, the guy that hangs out with Alex Pereira, and he beat him by unanimous decision. I think I watched that fight. I don't remember, honestly. But apparently he didn't get a contract, so he fought in Contender Series twice, and the second time he got a round 2 TKO. So I do think he's getting better for sure, and I think he should be able to take the win on this one. But let's go to the next fight. Okay, so for this next fight, we have Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunes. Not gonna lie, on this one, guys, I was kind of unsure. Even now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of unsure about picking Johnson by decision. Because if you look at the odds, Johnson is the favorite at a minus 180 and Felipe Bunes is a plus 155. So it is kind of divided a bit. There's a slight favorite towards Jose, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced. I kind of see it because he's taller. He's like 6'2", and he somehow manages to make weight. So he's pretty long, but he's only 1-2 in the UFC, so it's not that impressive. And he's lost to, decent people, Suel Mabayev, who's actually proving to be really good, and Damon Blackshear, who's actually decent. So I do think he's not as bad as I hope he is, and I hope he gets the decision win on this one, but I think this one's going to be really competitive. I think Felipe Bunes is going to come back like with a chip on his shoulder because he got knocked out in round 2, or ground and pound in round 2 versus Joshua Van. And so I think he's going to want to prove a point on this one. So I'm going to be picking Johnson by decision, but I don't know. I could see Felipe for sure winning on this one too. If Felipe were to win, man, I don't know. I think he's gotten a finish, decision, and or 2 finishes by submission and KO and a decision. It's kind of hard to pick how Felipe would win, so I kind of don't want to pick. So this one for sure, I'm not putting on parlays. I'm not going to be betting either side, honestly, because I just don't trust either one of them. And I'm going to be picking Johnson on this one just because he's taller and longer. He lost by twister to Damon Blackshear, so I think that was the first twist. I don't know if it was the first twister or not, but anyways, it's pretty interesting. So I'll be picking Johnson on this one. Hopefully he wins, but let's go to the next fight. So for this next fight, we have Uros Medic versus Punahele Soriano. This one, guys, I want to pick Medic just because, he's pretty decent. I think I've seen him fight a couple times, and I know he's decent. He's 4-2 in the UFC versus Punahele, who's 4-4 in the UFC. So it just I kind of just sided with the MMA math on this one because I just don't remember Punahele fighting, and if I did see him fight, it's not memorable. I mean, he did get a recent win over Miguel Baeza in June of 2024. But before that, he lost 2. One of them was to Roman Kopylov, and then he won 1 and then lost 2 before that. So he definitely has a lot of UFC experience, but I just think Medic is actually better. I think when I think of Medic, I just think he's like a decent fighter compared to Punahele. I just don't remember him. So I'm going to be picking Medic by round 2 TKO. And the reason I picked that is because Punahele lost by round 2 TKO versus Kopylov. So I think Medic could catch him and just, knock him out or TKO him. Who knows? I don't know if I saw like a YouTube video or someone posting that Punahele could be like a good underdog pick. Honestly, I don't remember, but I don't want to just trust people and just like bet on that just because someone said it. But I just think this is another one where I just don't want to bet either side. Like, if Punahele were to win, I think he could get a decision win maybe. Honestly, I just don't think he's going to win. I'm siding at Medic for sure on this one, round 2 TKO. But yeah, guys, kind of unsure, not too confident on this one at all. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, so for this next fight, we have Christian Rodriguez, or C-Rod as some people call him, as I like to call him, versus Austin Bashi. This one, guys, if you guys didn't know, there's some hype behind this fight in terms of Bashi. There's some hype behind him. He's 13-0 undefeated, and I say hype because his Contender Series fight, he ended up choking out the guy in round 2, so he's showing to be pretty decent. If you look at his fight history, in the last 5 fights, he's won in round 1 or 2 by finishes, by choke or by strike in one of them, or TKO in one of them. So I do think Bashi's decent. You know, probably most of these weren't the best level or the highest level of competition, but I do think I'm gonna kind of trust the undefeatedness of him and his finishing capability, because I just picked C-Rod in the last fight, and he ended up getting choked out by Julian Erosa. So that was a little disappointing, and I know it was probably like a mistake, but I don't know. It just kind of shows that like sometimes you can trust a decent fighter like C-Rod to probably win, but he could get finished. And I think Bashi's going to be able to find a finish somehow. I think he's going to want to take it to the ground. I don't think C-Rod's going to want to keep it there, but I think C-Rod's probably going to want to strike with him. I'm not too sure, but I would assume Bashi would try to take him down and choke him out. So that's what I'm going to be picking, Bashi by round 2 submission. The odds have him at a minus 300 right now, so a lot of people do agree that he could probably win this one. I kind of do think it's a little heavy sided on Bashi's end. I do think it should probably be like minus 250 or something, because C-Rod has proven to be like decent and beat undefeated guys before, including Raul Rosas Jr. So I do think C-Rod is for sure like capable of winning, and I do think I'll probably bet. I think this is gonna be one of those ones where I'll probably bet C-Rod to win by like decision or finish or something, and then just pick Bashi, because I don't think I would completely be able to bet Bashi like money line or even like by like a finish, I guess. So I'll probably be throwing maybe like $1 or something on C-Rod by finish, or maybe even decision or something like that. So let me know what you guys think about this one. I think it's going to be really competitive, or it's just going to be really surprising. Like if C-Rod just finishes Bashi, who knows? So this one should be a really good fight, I think. And yeah, let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for this next fight, we have Chris Curtis versus Rokolov. I'm really excited about this one, guys, because I think it's going to be a really good fight. I think it's going to be a really good striking match. I don't think either one of these want to like grapple or crotch sniffer or anything like that. So I do think Roman is going to have the advantage on this one because he's younger. Chris Curtis's age, I think he's 37, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, he's 37. And if you look at his last couple fights, he went split with... Well, going split with Brendan Allen is actually pretty impressive, because I do think Allen is decent. And then before that, he went split with Barry Oltz. He won that one. But it's just... I mean, I don't want to say Barry Oltz bad, but I just don't think Chris Curtis is improving. Yeah, I think his age is catching up to him. Before that, he was pretty much losing a fight to Nasruddin. It was no contest, and then before that, he lost to Kelvin Gastelum. So I just don't think it's looking good. I think Kopylov has way more capability of getting better. I mean, even Kopylov, if you look at his last fight, he went split with Cesar Almeida, so that's not too impressive, honestly. And then before that, he lost to Fluffy, which I don't blame him. Fluffy's actually really decent. And then before that, he was getting a bunch of finishes. So I do think Kopylov got his confidence back, and he's going to be getting better. So I'm going to be picking Kopylov by decision on this one. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Curtis, because Curtis doesn't get finished usually. Curtis usually loses by decision. So I'll be picking Kopylov by decision. They have Kopylov at a minus 251. So people do kind of agree that Kopylov should win this one. And then for me, it's just mostly the age for Curtis, because I know Curtis is decent, but I just don't think he has it against another good kickboxer like Kopylov. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for this next fight, we have Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. This one, guys, I'm just going to go out right off the bat and tell you I'm picking Cesar Almeida on this. Cesar Almeida on this one. I mean, a couple things for sure. I mean, Almeida trains with Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira, so he's like hanging out with them, learning from them, and he's learning a lot, I think. And then we have Abdul, who's 39 years old, and if you look at his wins, I think he mostly wins by KO. So if he doesn't KO Cesar Almeida, then I just don't think he's gonna win. And then Cesar Almeida has never been KO'd, so I think it's gonna be another striking match. And I mean, if you look at the odds, like they have him Almeida at a minus 275. I just kind of am a little confused as to why they gave him Abdul, because like I don't want to say Abdul's like bad, but maybe because of Cesar Almeida's loss to Roman Kopylov, maybe that's why. Okay, so Cesar Almeida lost to Roman Kopylov by split, but then beat Ihor Potieria. So he's coming off of win, And I'm kind of confused as to why they give him Abdul, because I don't want to say Abdul's bad, but I just don't think it's a good enough challenge. I think he's just gonna win. Honestly, I don't want to say that I'm like crazy confident, but I'm just for sure picking Almeida on this one because of the age. Because Almeida's never been KO'd, it's a striking match. Almeida's a kickboxer. So I'm gonna be putting Almeida in some parlays on this one, honestly, because I'm pretty confident. I'm kind of curious as to. I'm thinking the UFC probably wants like a KO on this one because Al Hassan has been KO'd before. Let me double check. Yeah, he has been KO'd before, at least like once or twice. So I do think the UFC kind of expects like a pretty big finish on this one because it's like the third to last fight. So I'm excited about this one too, but I'm picking Almeida on this one. Let me know what you guys think. Let's go to the next fight. Okay, guys, so for this next fight, the second to last fight of the night, this Saturday, is Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlson Harris. This one, I don't want to say I'm confused, but I'm just I'm not too excited about this one, honestly. Because they do have the odds at Ponzinibbio at a minus 120 and Harris at a plus 100, so it's a pick 'em, I would say. And I guess the only reason I'm not too excited about it is because I just don't know what to expect. I just don't have like a side to choose other than I am picking Ponzinibbio by decision. But I was like on Harris for a second, so this one I'm just kind of like unsure as to what will happen. Definitely going to be exciting most likely because I do think they can get a finish. Harris usually wins by, he actually gets a lot of finishes. His last two wins was Anaconda Choke round 3, and then a decision win over Gooden. And then we have Santiago, who in his last 5 fights, he's lost 4 out of 5 of them. But he's actually fighting really decent people like Muslim Salikov, Kevin Holland, Marco Pereira, Geoff Neal. So he's actually fighting pretty decent people. And he went split with Michael Pereira and Geoff Neal. So he's decent. He's durable, I would say. So I do think Ponzinibbio's experience and durability is going to get him the win here. Because, yeah, he just lost 2 fights, but like I said, they're versus decent people. And, his last fight versus Muslim Salikov, he got a split decision loss. So if Harris were to win, I think it'd be by split decision. But I'm going to be picking Ponzinibbio by decision. I don't think there's going to be a finish on this one. Maybe Harris gets a finish on Ponzinibbio, but I kind of doubt it. Or maybe Ponzinibbio gets a finish. His last time Ponzinibbio got a finish was in 2022. Like pretty much almost 3 years ago. He beat Alex Morono in round 3 with an overhand right. So I just don't think he's going to replicate that. And I think if he does win, he'll probably get a decision or edge out a decision. I'm just really unsure even when I'm thinking about it because I really do think Harris has the capability of winning because he's 4-2 in the UFC. And how old is he? Oh, he's 37. Oh, yeah, they're both kind of old, actually. They're both pretty old. So age, I don't really think is going to be a big factor here. Harris is 37, Ponzinibbio is 38. So I just think it's going to be another or a 3-round fight, and we'll see how good it is. But I'm going to be picking Ponzinibbio on this one. Let's go to the last fight. All right, guys, so we have the final fight of the night this coming Saturday on January 11th with Dern versus Ribas 2. This is the second time they're fighting, and honestly, I kind of forgot. I don't even think I saw the first fight, or maybe I just don't remember. I don't think I was watching UFC at the time. They fought in 2019, so I think that was before I started watching UFC, like right before. So I mean, Ribas won the first fight by unanimous decision, so I'm gonna be going Ribas by decision again, guys. I was picking Dern for a second, but I think I picked her last fight, and let me see if she lost. Yeah, I think I picked her last fight, I'm pretty sure, and she got the win over Lupita, and I don't think it was a robbery. I don't think so. I don't remember actually. But before that, she lost to Amanda Lemos, Jessica Andrade. And then before that, she beat Angela Hill. She lost to Jianan Yan. So if you kind of look at the people she loses to, honestly, I would say like they're all strikers. Amanda Lemos, Andrade, Jan, Marina. I would say they're all strikers. So I think Ribas is going to obviously not want to take it to the ground with Dern, who's like a black belt, or she does jiu-jitsu. Now she's just competed in a grappling event versus Fiona Davies. She lost it, but still, she's pretty decent on the ground. And Ribas has never been submitted before. So I think that Ribas is probably going to want to keep it on the ground, strike it out, point it out, and get the decision win. So that's why I'm going to be picking Ribas decision. If Mackenzie were to win, I think it could be a submission, even though Ribas has never got never been sub before. So I do think Ribas probably wins this. But if I were to bet Dern, I mean, I'd probably put like 50 cents on Dern by submission or decision. Maybe she gets a robbery. Who knows? Maybe Dern's like upgrades her striking game, but I don't know, with all the drama, if you guys didn't know, with her and her ex-husband, her new boyfriend, Tricorley, and Nicolle beating up her ex-husband, all this stuff. It's just a bunch of drama that I don't think is helping her. And I don't want to say she's still going through it because I don't really keep up like with the posts about it or the news about it, but I would assume that it's still probably affecting her life. And I don't think, even though she did win against Lupita unanimously in August of 2024, I don't know, I'm just not fully convinced yet. I'm just like, if she wins again, then I'll be like, all right, yeah, she's pretty decent. She still got it. But I don't know, Ribas, I think she was on a climb. Then she fought Rose and she lost. But Rose is actually really well rounded, I think. And then before that, she beat Luana, who's actually not that good. She lost to Macy, who's decent. She beat Viviana Rajo, who's whatever, I guess. And then she lost to Caitlin Cremonara. I'm trying to think of who she is, and I don't remember her being that good. But she beat Verna Jandiroba, who's like a submission specialist. So that kind of helps me pick a little bit more on the Ribas side. That's thinking that she's probably going to win on this one. But still not fully convinced. I'm for sure siding with Ribas on this one, but I could see Dern winning. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this one. It should be a really good set of fights this coming Saturday. I'm really excited. I think the main card starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it's pretty in the afternoon at least for us in the West Coast of the U.S. So super excited. I'm going to be putting some bets. I think I mentioned most of them. I don't think I'm going to be switching picks. I think I just switched one today with the Jacobe going around 1 KO. But other than that, I'm pretty solid on the picks. I don't think I'm going to switch. If you guys kept up, I have 2 underdog picks, the rest favorites. And yeah, guys, I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think I should post next. Because I think I mentioned posting videos other than pick videos, but I just haven't done it yet. So if you guys have thoughts, suggestions, just anything at all, put it down in the comments below or your picks. I'll definitely reply back. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.